So if you have a foolscap paper, now is a good time to take it out and to start copying notes that you think are important to you. Okay, so let me give an introduction on this dot diagram. It looks something like this. Okay, this green and red diagram over here. Can you try and describe this dot diagram? Let me remove all these numbers that shouldn't be here. Okay, what does this remind you of? This diagram over here. Just ignore these black color parts, they shouldn't be there. Okay, the green color line, what does it remind you of? Number line, right? And remember what number line is like? Number line is something very basic, isn't it? Just have a line, we have numbers, we have even spacing. So in this case, the difference between each interval is 2 units. So we expect 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and the spacing between them are the same. Okay, if you were told to draw a dot diagram, should you be using ruler? Yes, of course you should be. Should you be using pencil? Should you be using pen? No, you shouldn't be using pen. Because what's the disadvantage of using pen? Why can't I use pen? Yeah, what if you make a mistake? How are you going to amend it? Worst case, you do a lot already. Wow, start to do everything nice. Almost done already, then you realize there's a mistake. How? Okay, then that's a problem again. So our dot diagram will be drawn using pencil and ruler, which means every lesson you should have your pencil and ruler with you and your eraser in case you make mistakes. So number line. Then you see all these dots drawn above the number lines, right? These dots represent something. We need to look at the context. We need to look at what this question is, okay? This diagram shows the scores of some students in a quiz. Total mark of the quiz is 20. Okay, understand this sentence? So this is supposed to represent the scores of students in a quiz, and the total marks is supposed to be 20. Without teaching you how to interpret this, can you tell me how many students scored 0 marks? Yeah, I haven't taught you anything yet. How many students do you think scored 0 marks? 2. You are right. Easy, no? How many students scored 1 mark? 1 mark? How many? 0. What about 2 marks? 3? 4? 5? Okay, that's where we should be doing this. 5 over here. Easy, right? Because everything is spaced out nicely, of course in between 4 and 6 must be 5. And there are 2 people who scored 5 marks. How many people scored 6 marks? 3. How many people scored 7? 8? 9? 10? How many people failed? How many people failed? Total mark 20. So how many people failed? How do you get 9? How do you get 9? Okay, you just count lah. Here we have 2 people scored 0, 1 scored 4, 2 scored 5, 3 scored 6, 1 scored 7. So add them up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9 people failed. Easy? Okay, how many people scored 11? 3, okay, yes. And 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. 13? And 14? Anything else? Any more? Oh, what's the maximum mark scored? What's the maximum mark? Is it 20? Okay, what is the total mark? 20. What is the maximum mark scored? Did I get 18? 18. Oh, my diagram is incomplete. There's some more over here. 16. Which means you brought your notes. Oh, okay. Very good. Okay. Oh yeah, you didn't pack your bag for 1 year. Okay. So this is a complete diagram. There is another 18 over there. Somehow it was not printed out over here on my laptop. So there is one person who scored 18. What's the maximum mark? Okay, what is the highest mark scored? 18. Okay, maximum 20. Yeah. What is the lowest possible mark? And what is the lowest mark scored? 0. Okay. Now, any questions for the dot diagram? Any questions? What are some potential problems that I might be facing when I mark your paper? Okay. For example, like this. You draw a dot diagram, and then you have this. Can you see the dot above the 16? Can see clearly or not? Can't really see clearly. So you must be very, you must be showing me that you are certain there's a dot over there. So draw slightly bigger, okay? Don't give me a small dot and then I think it's not a dot, then during the test you come and say, Mr. Wong, I drew a dot over here. Let's say it's so small I can't see. Because my eyes not very good already. Okay, now next question. What is the range? Oh no, let's do part A then. How many students are there? I'm sure some of you, as I was talking, right, you already started counting. So many students are there? 21. Easy, huh? 21 students. Okay, now, next one. I need to introduce this term to you. What is the range of the marks? Before I explain, before I give you the definition, make a guess. What do you think the correct answer would be if I ask you for the range? 18, okay, Kennex thinks it's 18. What else? Any other values that you think are possible? If there's no other answer, then I would say that I will tell you now that 18 is correct. Kennex, how do you get 18 for the range? Okay, so we write this. Range equals to 18 minus 0, and we get 18 marks. Okay, now, why? Why 18 minus 0? This is where you need to know. Range equals to maximum value minus minimum value. Okay? And there will be units. So do you see all these inside my calculation? Am I working? Maximum 18, minimum 0, and I have my units, 18 marks. What is the range? 18 marks. Okay? If I tell you that, these are the results of your class. Okay, out of 20, somebody scored 18, 2 people scored 0, so on and so forth. How do you think this class did? What do you think? Do you think they did well, or not good, or any other term you would like to describe it with? Average? Why do you think it is average? Okay, got some failed and some did quite well. So it's like an average class over here. And if I tell you that the maximum is 18, okay, let's say that's really a class test. Maximum mark 18 out of 20. How do you feel? Maybe you think the paper is fine. If I tell you that only one person got 18, how do you feel? Is it me? Is it me, right? For those who studied, of course. Then if I tell you that, actually there are 2 people who got 0. Then what do you think? Is it me? Is it me? But if you study, you wouldn't think that way, right? At least you'll get something. Okay? If I tell you that the range of the class is 18, what does that tell you? If I didn't tell you that maximum is 18, minimum is 20, I tell you that the range of the class is 18, what will be going through your mind? The highest is? Not necessarily. The highest mark will be 18 and above. It could be 19, right? If the range is 18, and then I tell you, the highest mark is 19. What is the lowest mark then?
1.
Okay, very good. If I tell you the range is 18, the lowest mark is 2. What is the highest mark? 20. Okay, you get how this is done, how this is calculated? So the range tells you from the smallest to the biggest, where you guys are. Okay? Now, if I tell you that actually there's this class, class loyalty, for example, okay? 2 loyalty, their range is 5. What does that tell you? Okay, so 2 integrity, your range is 18. If I tell you that 2 loyalty, the range is 5, what does that tell you? What does that tell you about their class? Everyone fail? Does it imply everyone fail? Does it imply everyone passed? Then what does it imply? Okay, is there something that you want to say but you don't know how to put it in words? You have an idea of what is something but you don't know how to say it. Do you feel that way? If I tell you that this class range is 5, your class range is 18. Do you understand the difference? Okay, so how do you describe it? I think Kenix has an idea, yes? You were saying something? Huh? They have the same standard. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? That class having a range of 5, they have similar standards. They are more consistent in the ability in their class. Whereas in this class, I've got some very weak ones, I've got some very strong ones. That's why my range is very big. For that class, they are very consistent, that's why the range is very small. Does that make sense to you? Okay, but does that tell you whether they're all good or all bad? It could be all very good, right? Everybody got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right? It could be everybody got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So they could be all very good. Or they could be all very bad. Or they could be all right in the center. But we just know that they all are grouped together. They're all close in, they're all very similar. And we use the word consistency. They are consistent. If the range is small, it means it is consistent. If the range is very large, is it consistent? If the range is very large, then it's no longer consistent. Okay? So that is a keyword that you need to know. Okay, now part C. At which values do the scores cluster around? Cluster, they come together. So look at the dot diagram. Ignore my black markings. Where do the marks cluster? Where are they near? 11 to 12. Any more? Is there do you see two? Generally, there are two clusters. Okay, the first cluster will be from about 4 to 7. You see over here, this is one cluster. Now over here, I've got another cluster. Then I've got somebody who study like really hard. Okay, he's not a cluster, he's just one person. So he's not a cluster. And then I've got two people who absolutely do not study. Okay, so these two are not a cluster also. Cluster, grouped together. So I've got two clusters. So my answers will be scores, cluster, around 4 to 7 with a peak at, where do you think the peak is? 6, yeah. Okay, and then another one, scores, cluster, this will end over here, around, how much? 11 to 14. Okay, they are clustered together. They are near each other with a peak of 12. 10? Any questions? Who finds it easy so far? Can you raise your hand? Show me that you find it easy. Because if you find it difficult, right, then I'll have to explain some more. Maybe I'll have to get you involved in telling me why you find it difficult. Okay, so don't be shy. Okay, Aiman, what do you think of this so far? Any doubts that you have? No, so do you find it easy? Is there anything you would like me to explain further? Okay, if you're shy, you can always watch the video again, right? There is another term for these scores at the sides, at the extreme values. These are known as extreme values. Because they are not like anything else. They are not around the center. They are just by themselves, lonely at the extreme ends. Another word for this is called outlier values. They lie outside everything else. Okay, extreme values are also known as outlier values. We will see these terms again. But for now, let's take a look at exercise 2. Okay, simple one. Number of siblings that 12 students have. Okay, so let's say I chose 12 of you to do a survey. How many dots do you expect over here? Without counting. So this dot diagram is supposed to tell me how many students had 0 siblings. So over here 4, I can count easily. But let's say I don't want to count. Okay, how many students have 1 sibling, 2, 3, 4, and 5 siblings? Let's say I don't want to count anything. How many dots do you think there are altogether? 12, because I'm only surveying 12 people, right? Let's do a quick check to see whether we are right or wrong. 8, 9, 10, 11. There's another missing one. Okay, so there are 12 dots. Your notes are correct. Okay, so when you go home, you'll see the 6 over there with the dots. Okay, let's do part A. Find the minimum number of siblings of the students. What's the minimum? Minimum, how much? 0 lor. You can't have fewer than 0 siblings, right? That must be the least already. As shown over here, there are 4 of them. Next, add which numbers to the number of siblings of the students cluster around. Yeah, they cluster around here. See, this is a cluster. So what shall we call this guy? Extreme value, yes. Yeah, extreme or outlier. Let's see whether this is quite accurate, okay? In this class, how many of you have 0 siblings? Raise your hand. 0 siblings. How many? 1, 2, 3. Only 3? Okay. How many have 1 sibling? Wow, quite a lot. Look around. Okay. I don't even want to count. How many of you have 2 siblings? 2 siblings? This time I raise my hand. I've got 1 elder sister, 1 younger brother. Okay. What about 3 siblings? 3 siblings is starting to be quite rare already. 4 children at home, right? Okay. Okay, how about 5 siblings? This one will be very, very rare already. Sure or not? I skip 4. Okay, how many of you have 4 siblings? That's a very big family. How many brothers or sisters? Are you the youngest? So 2 elder brothers and 2 older sisters. Okay, I think got a lot of people to chit chat with at night. A lot of people to help you with your work, right? Okay, so after that, 6. Anybody got 6 siblings? I think my father, I think he has 6 siblings. Do your parents have many siblings? Yes, right. Hey, why? Why is it that last time they have so many siblings? Then how come now, why is it that now we don't have many siblings? Okay, hey, class. There are many reasons, okay? Many reasons why the people don't want to give birth to so many children already. Yeah, that's one of it. So please do your job. Help to keep Singapore's population healthy. When you grow up, of course, okay? Okay, let's come back to this. So, the class, they cluster around from 0 to 3 with, can I say a peak? With peaks at 0 and 1. For this class, it appeared that the peaks were at 2 and 3 lah. Okay, I didn't count, but generally when I looked at it, it looks like you all have one or two siblings for this class. Okay, part C. What can you say about the highest value of the number of siblings of the student? So somebody had 6 siblings. What can you say about this? Yeah, it's extreme, it's an outlier. Okay, so the answer will be the highest value of the number of siblings is 6, which is an outlier, outlier, or extreme value. They both mean the same thing. Which word do you prefer? Outlier or extreme? You prefer extreme? Yeah, sure, go ahead. But I prefer to use outlier because look more professional. Okay? And now part D, describe the distribution. How shall we describe this? There's so much we can tell from this, right? I can tell you that, the range is, what's the range? What's the range in this case? 6. Yeah, I can tell you that the range is 6. I can tell you that it clusters around 0 to 3. I can tell you the peaks. I can also tell you the extreme value, which is 6. Okay, so this is how I will be describing those 3 points. The range is 6. Or we can say the number of siblings ranges from 0 to 6. Okay, next point, data clusters from 0 to 3 with peaks. Basically, I'm just repeating myself at 0 and 1. And the last point, it has an extreme value of 6. Straightforward. So now let's go to exercise number 3.